You know, sometimes you wonder, is anyone listening to Judicial Watch, don't you? Right? I know you are. But there's a story that came out. I don't like talking about it because it has me at the center of it. But there's a story that came out this week in Politico, which is kind of it's a media organization, so they're pretty much always left-wing, that highlights the fact that President Trump is following Judicial Watch. And it's very flattering to our work and our efforts to educate you, the American people. I'm looking for the story in all of my papers here about what we're up to. And the headline reads, "I know that he listens to Tom. Meet Trump's anti-Mueller ally." The conservative group Judicial Watch, led by Tom Fitton, has taken a leading role suing for documents related to the Russian probes. And then it goes on to say, Tom Fitton, the head of conservative group Judicial Watch, has made a career of suing the federal government over suspected bureaucratic corruption, irritating every president since Bill Clinton. But in Donald Trump, Fitton has found an enthusiastic booster, a president who, rather than bristling at Judicial Watch's frequent accusations of malfeasance throughout the government he oversees, welcomes the group's effort to hold the deep state accountable. People close to the president says he's come to see Fitton as one of the most effective critics of the Mueller probe. One White House official advisor calls him a hero. Well, that's nice to say, isn't it? And then the story goes on to say, the question whether or not, and if I've met with Trump, which I'm not going to tell you one way or another whether I have, but I can tell you we've always told the White House, and I've told you publicly, that they should err on the side of transparency. They should take a radical transparency approach to these Russiagate issues and extreme transparency on all of this so that the American people know fully about the corruption involved. And we've been critical of Mueller from the beginning, not because we wanted the president's attention, but because we thought there was a rule of law problem with the way he's been operating, and that the president has been victimized. And as I told the Politico reporter who talked to me about this story, it's funny, you get a call from a reporter here in Washington, D.C., and they say they want to do a story to you about you. Usually that sets off alarms, so I'm always very cautious when that happens. I said, Fitton argues he's not sucking up to Trump. Of course I'm not. Instead, he says he's standing up for a president who he firmly contends is being victimized by the national security establishment, the media, Democrats, government bureaucrats, basically everybody. The test for honest Americans or honest liberals, and there are honest liberals out there, are they going to defend a president they disagree with when he's being victimized and when he is being victimized, I say. Today it's Trump and tomorrow it's someone else. I mean, that's the test. There are a lot of people who don't like President Trump, and there's nothing that requires you to like him or everything he does. I don't agree with every policy every politician does, let alone a presidential administration. There's always something I'm going to disagree with. But the question is he going to be subject to being victimized by abusive government officials because people don't like him? He's not above the rule of law, but he's also not below the protection of the law. And the article goes on to say that Judicial Watch he tweets our work and things like that, which is great. It's a great audience. I'm glad the president is highlighting our work, exposing government corruption, because that's what we're doing. And so it's a good story in Politico. It's not designed to be a good story, but it is, and because it shows that Judicial Watch is having an impact. We're educating the public, and we're educating the leadership here in Washington, because you can bet the president isn't the only politician following Judicial Watch. Members of Congress of both sides of the aisle are following our work. The left is following our work. In fact, they have developed groups and approaches based entirely on Judicial Watch's work. They see what Judicial Watch has done, and they want to do it themselves. And of course, no one can do it like Judicial Watch. So we're happy to have others trying to hold the government to account and expose government corruption, but no one's doing it better than Judicial Watch, that's for sure.